Good morning, Year 2, and welcome to Tuesday's English lesson. Now, let me find the right flip chart because we are going to start off this morning for both groups with some handwriting practice. And we are going to practice for this video, which is for the easy activity, doing the first join. Now, the first join is when you join any of these letters to any of these letters. So we use it a lot in our writing, and I'm going to show you what I mean. Let me get rid of my lines. Here is some joined up writing. We've got two words, s, I, n, g, s, a, k. And when we learn to write at Norwood, when we learn how to write each letter, we always start with a lead-in. So we start on the line. Try drawing a line so you can see where it would be. Draw the line on sack. There we go. We always start each letter on the line with this bit here. That's called our lead-in. And when we join, all we do is write the letters right next to each other so that there is no gap between the letters. And that means that our lead-ins, here's the lead-in on A, here's the lead-in to C, here's the lead-in to K, they touch the letter before. And so that is what makes our writing joined. And it means that when we write, we don't need to take our pen off the paper at all. So let's start off with our magic pens. In school, we use our finger, but we pretend it's a magic pen that writes invisible rainbow writing. And I want you to point at your screen and help me write these words. So we're going to start on the line for sing, and it's being naughty, we're going to do lead in, go round and back for the S like a snake, and then we're going to not take our pen off the paper and do join, up and down for the I, and join, down, up and over for the N, and join. We're going to curl around for the G, then go back the same way, and go all the way around up to the top, down, and loop, and don't forget to go back and dot the I. How did you get on? If you want to, you could pause the video there and try that again. Or you can join me to write the word sack in the air. So you're going to be writing in the air like this, copying me writing on the board. Lead in, hook up and over for the S, curl round like a snake, join to the A, we're going to curl round, stop, go back the way you came, all the way round, up to the top, down and join, curl round for the C, stop, go back the way you came, all the way round and join, up really, really high, down, loop over and kick at the end. And there we have it, sing and sack. Could you pause the video there and practice writing out each word 5 times? Good luck. Okay, let's have a look at our English for today. And we are finally going to be writing our Tinga Tinga Tale, Why Elephant Has a Trunk. And your roadmap looks like this. So let's think about the things we need to remember in our writing today. I can write in sentences, this should say, which make sense. And the tick is supposed to be over here, but it's been really naughty and covered up the word make. So that says, I can write in sentences which make sense. I hope your sentences do make sense. Not like this one at the moment. Now, we can go back at the end and change our sentences if they don't make sense. But this one, you must remember as you're writing today. I can use finger spaces. Because if you write with your writing all squashed together, the only way to go back and change that is to write it all out again. And you don't want to have to do that. So remember, when you write a word today, like, let's start with he, before you write the next word, you put your finger in and then write the next word so that you've got a space in between. I can use capital letters and full stops correctly. Where do full stops go? That's right, on the end of a sentence. And what do we need at the beginning? We need a capital letter. And finally, can you use the conjunction and in your writing? Can you say something like, elephant was sad and he went to find his friend. So have a go at using and. So as you're writing today, you need to remember those things. And hopefully from yesterday, you have a lovely story hill. Now your story hill was a little bit different to the one everyone else did. You didn't have to write anything in this box. You had some helpful words. You need to use those words today. So shall we read through them before you start? I've given you the spellings for elephant, trunk, smelly, long, pulled hard, animals, and crocodile. So if you want to write any of those words in your story, you can look at your sheet and find how to spell them. And the other part of your sheet to help you is your story hill. So hopefully yesterday you stuck the pictures in the right order. We've got elephant starting off with no nose and he's really smelly. So he goes and talks to his friends and they give him some ideas for how to get rid of the smell. And they tell him to go and have a wash. But we have a problem, don't we? When he goes to the lake, Croc won't let him have a wash and says no. So he decides to wait until Croc goes away and he goes to sleep there. And then we get on to our problem. While he's asleep, Croc bites onto his nose. And what happens? What's the solution? How do they solve that problem? Well, all the animals help him. And it's a teeny tiny picture, but hopefully you can see all of the animals in a line trying to pull Elephant away from Croc. And they do manage to do it. But the ending of the story means that Elephant's nose has stretched really, really long from Crocodile pulling it. So that's the story that I want you to tell me today in beautiful sentences that make sense, have finger spaces, capital letters and full stops, and use the conjunction and. So let's think about what we could write for our first sentence. Shall we start the way all the Tinker Tinker stories start with, there was a time when Elephant had no trunk. So I want you to think about the sentence before you write it down. There was a time when Elephant had no trunk. Say it out loud to yourself and maybe use your fingers or you could use pieces of Lego for each word. There was a time when Elephant had no trunk. That's quite a long sentence. Maybe you could make it even shorter if you think you can't remember all of it. Elephant had no trunk. I'm going to try and do the whole sentence. You decide for you. There was a time when Elephant had no trunk. Okay. There. Capital letter because it's the beginning of a sentence. That is like having a pencil that's not sharp. Look how thick that line is. So you would need to start with a sharp pencil. I'm going to start with a thin pencil on the board. There was a time. There was, don't forget my finger spaces, a time. I use my neat handwriting we practiced at the beginning. When Elephant. There was a time when Elephant had no trunk. There was a time when Elephant. I don't know how to spell elephant. Oh, I could look back on my helpful words. Oh, it needs a capital letter. Elephant. You'll be able to have yours in front of you and you can copy it if you need to spell that word. When Elephant. Now I've forgotten my sentence. Let's go back and think. There was a time when Elephant had no trunk. There was a time when Elephant had no trunk. And I think I could probably write another sentence for that picture. Let's read this one through to check it first. There was a time when Elephant had no trunk, full stop. I'm happy with that sentence. I'm ready to go on to my next sentence. I think I need to say that he was smelly too. So I'm going to do think it, write it, say it, read it for one more sentence before I go on to the next picture. He was smelly. Oh, I'm thinking about using and. He was smelly and dirty. So, think it, say it, write it, read it. He was smelly and dirty. That's a bit easier. 5 words. Capital letter. He was smelly. Running out of room. And he was smelly and dirty. He was smelly and dirty. And then I'm going to read my whole beginning back to check I'm happy. There was a time when elephant had no trunk, full stop. He was smelly and dirty, full stop. I'm happy with that. That's the beginning bit of my story done. I'm ready to go on to my next picture and write a sentence about that. Now I'd like you to start from the beginning with your own sentences. They can be different to mine, they can be similar to mine, and your teachers are going to really look forward to seeing your finished story. Good luck, everybody.